Hello everyone, it's Mr. Johnson here. These are my dogs. Eli, this is Eli right here, and this is Dora. I'm like you, I'm at home, stuck at home. So I'm going to be making some video lessons for you guys on how to draw certain things so we can stay busy. So our first assignment that I'm going to give you is going to be how to draw a mandala. Okay, so we're going to make a mandala today, and I'm going to do a step-by-step demonstration, but I want you to remember, other than the first few steps, which we're all going to do exactly the same, once we get beyond those steps, I don't want you to copy exactly what I'm doing. I want you to do your own thing, and whatever you do, you repeat it around the mandala. This is not about copying exactly what I do. I'm giving you some ideas of types of lines and shapes that you can draw, but I want you to take it and go your own way with it. But we all start the same. We make a little dot in the center. That's the seed that our mandala is going to grow from. We're not using compasses, rulers, anything, so it's not going to be perfectly symmetrical. This is a handmade freehand mandala, which will make it interesting. Most of the time, people who make mandalas, they'll use a compass to make everything just right. So now we're going to make a circle around our mandala. Okay, not going to be a perfect circle, no big deal. And then from that circle, we're going to make some lines. So we're going to make a line going north, south, east, and west. So we got 4 lines. Then we're going to make a line in between each one of those lines. And try to make them as close to the same length as you can. Right? So now we've got a little shape. So from here, you are going to do your own thing. You do not have to copy exactly what I do. I want you to make it your own. So this is a meditative exercise, right? It's you don't want to think too long about what you're going to draw. You just want to, the first thing that pops into your head, you just do it and you repeat it 8 times around the circle. We have 8 lines. We're going to repeat everything 8 times around the mandala. So just think, whatever first pops in your head, just do it. So I'm going to do an S shape. So I just decided that just now. I'm going to make a line like an S. So I went right, left, right, like an S. Okay. Then I like to turn my paper so that each time I do a new shape, I'm coming at it from the same angle. Right, left, right. And again, I'm not worried too much about making everything exactly the same, because this is a freehand mandala. So there, I made an S shape all the way around. Now I am going to make a shape that connects these 2 lines together. So a lot of times people will make a triangle or a circle line going out. So I'm going to do a triangle, just connecting those 2 lines. So I go from the base of this S up and then down to the base of the next S, just with a little triangle. You could even do a line that goes in instead, or you could make it a curved line, or you could do something completely different. But whatever you do, you repeat it 8 times around the circle. Okay? I'm going to go back inside and I'm going to do a little zigzag line. I'm going to make it go all the way to the end. So this time I went left, right, left. I'm going to repeat the same thing. So you can always go back inside your mandala and add more details to it. But again, whatever you do, whatever type of line you do, you repeat it 8 times around the mandala. So now let's see, maybe I'll do something on the ends of these triangles. I'm going to just do a circle. A simple little circle. This time it's not attached to anything, it is detached. So you can add shapes that are detached, not connected to anything. And again, I like to turn my paper each time. Okay, oh, I missed one little circle. Okay, now I am going to go, I'm just going to take this S line, and I'm just going to simply connect it to my circle. You could do something completely different. You could maybe make a line coming from your circle, but I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to make this line go over to my circle. Super easy. And see, some of them are going to be a little longer than others, because I'm doing this freehand. Nothing is perfect. There's my little curved lines. So now let's do, I'm going to make a line that connects my circles together. And I already did an angle line, a triangle line, so this time I'm going to make it a curved line. So I start from one circle, go to the next circle. As you can see, that curved line's wider than that one. I'm just going to repeat the same thing all the way around. Okay, now we have some curved lines. And you see each one of these, they're a little bit different because I'm freehanding it. It's not going to be perfect. All right, now I'm going to just do a little triangle in between my little curved lines that I just made and repeat it all the way around. So you probably get the idea by now. Whatever shape or line you create, you repeat it 8 times around the circle. And you just keep building until you get all the way to the outer edge of your paper. Let's do a spiral. I like spirals. So I'm starting my spiral by going to the right. Right? And it's at the end of my little curved line here. You're adding a spiral. If you get the idea now and you just want to turn the video off and do your own thing, that is absolutely fine. But keep in mind when you're done drawing this, if you're using pencil, you might want to go back and go over your lines with a black marker, if you have one, or a black colored pencil. And then I would think about adding color to the drawing. So I think about using colored pencils or markers, whatever you have at home, and add color to it. Okay, so now I think this triangle needs to connect to my spirals. So I'm going to go and just make a little curved line going to each spiral from the tip of the triangle. And I'm just going to repeat it all the way around. That time I went into my spiral a little bit. That's okay. There's no such thing as a mistake in this drawing. Whatever you decide to do is whatever is meant to be. So if you make a major mistake that you really hate, try to turn it into something different, something that you like. Or, if worse comes to worse, I guess you could start over. Once you do this 1 or 2 times, you get the hang of it and it becomes easier, and then you can do a lot different things. So I am going to go ahead and repeat a triangle shape, like repeat that one, but this one's going to be bigger. And this one I'm going to make curved. So it's not a straight line triangle, it has curved lines. So I'm going to do that all the way around. Eventually your lines are going to go off the paper. So I think I said this before, but don't sit and think too long about what you want to do. First thing that comes to your head, commit to it and just do it all the way around the circle. This doesn't require a lot of thinking. This is a very meditative exercise. I'm going to make a little diamond shape inside this little triangle that I just made. See, sometimes you can go back in. If I had a finer point Sharpie, I would probably go back into my design and add some more details with a fine point Sharpie or a pen even. Or a colored pencil, just something with a more fine tip. The tool I'm using now is a pretty wide tip. All right, let's see, what can I do now? Let's do another circle, but I'll do a bigger circle. So we're gonna add a little circle to the end. Now this one is gonna go off the paper. Just making little circles all the way around, right? And this one will go off the paper as well, as will this one. So I'm getting close to the edge of my paper, so eventually it's just gonna go off the edges. Okay, so now I need to do something in between this section on the top of my spiral. So let's do let's just do a simple C shape and see what that becomes. I just made a curved line, a hook, or a C shape, so it goes to the left and then the right. So sometimes you can do really simple shapes, and then after I go all the way around, I'll think about what I'm going to do next. I'm not worried about that right now. So off the page, back in. All right, so I made my C shapes all the way around. Now, what can I do with that? I am going to go from the end of my C shape, and I'm going to make another curved line going up, like that, and then I'm going to make it go back down. So now I'm getting a little crazy. So I'm getting a little more complicated. So let's see if I can replicate that. So I go up, and then I kind of follow the shape, and I end it in between. So this time, Not everything is going to look exactly the same. And it does get a little harder the further away you get from the center. It gets a little harder to make everything symmetrical. But again, if I was worried about making this thing perfectly symmetrical, there would be tools that I would want to use, and I would do a lot of measuring. But I'm not worried about that right now. We're doing kind of a meditative exercise. So I made kind of like a flame shape, I guess you could call it. Now I'm going to do, I like kind of these floating shapes, so I'm just going to make little circles next to these triangles. So this time I'm not even going to turn my paper. I'm just going to, I'm just going to do them. Do some circles in between each of these shapes. There, added circles all the way around. So you can see, you get the idea. But I'm going to keep adding some things here. So let's do, I'm going to start where this circle is, and I'm going to go up to the right, and then down to that shape, to that little leaf kind of shape that we just made. So again, now for the next one, I'm going to start at the base of the circle, make a curved line going up. It's going to go off the page, and then it's going to come, where did I end it? I ended it on the top of this shape. So sometimes you have to think a little bit about where you ended each shape. So on the next circle, I start in the same place on the end of the circle, and I'm going to end right there. So up, and back down to there. This one's going to go off the paper and come back to that spot, so you can't really see much of that one. Again, start on this, make a curved line up, back down, up, off the paper, back down. And this one again is going to also go off the paper. And I got them all, so now we made our little lines like that. So I might want to think, now I'm getting towards the edge of the paper, maybe I want to go back on the inside and add some little details to it. So I would look for spaces that are big, that don't have a lot of details, and then think about what you could add. So maybe right here, well, let's go in here, I could make a little, just a little kind of S shape. It doesn't have to be complicated. So whatever you make, the more details you add, the more interesting your mandala looks. Okay, I made my little S's. So I could keep going from here, but I'm just going to stop and leave it at that. So here's another mandala that I was working on earlier that I kind of made. But there are infinite possibilities of types of lines you can do. So I want you to take this opportunity, make a couple, make 3, 4 if you want, and just have fun with this. Be creative and just be free with it. There are no right or wrong answers for this. And again, when you're finished, make it into a finished drawing. Add some colored pencils, some markers, fill in spots with color. Just maybe go back in. If I wanted to make this into a finished piece, I would probably go back in with a fine point Sharpie and add some more details. So there it is, mandala. Have fun.